Welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why we need to ask better questions. Questions lead to better questions. Better questions lead to better decisions. Better decisions lead to a more fulfilling life. There's two areas I want to talk about in this video. The first is, what can better questions do for us? And the second is, how can we ask better questions? What can effective questions do for us? I'm going to put this in three categories. One is, it can help us overcome our social anxiety. Two, it can help us solve problems more quickly. And three, it can help us understand the world around us. So let's talk about how questions can help us overcome social anxiety. Social anxiety is that fear of being judged by people, and especially if we are new to something. So let's say we are trying to ask someone on a date, or we are on an interview, or we are just trying to talk in front of strangers, or maybe online. Questions can really reduce that social anxiety if we learn how to ask them effectively. Questions help us become a good conversationalist. They'll help us talk to anyone. They will help us connect with people and establish relationships. If we can truly be interested in the person and what they are interested in, we will connect with them on a much deeper level. And the second area is, questions can help us become a better problem solver. They'll help us be curious in how to solve a problem. The first thing I like to do is ask the obvious question. In most cases, the obvious question hasn't been asked because most people are afraid to ask it. After you've established the obvious question, then you need to go a level deeper. First, pay attention to what the person is telling you. What facts and information are they giving you? What is the known? And look for the gaps or the unknown. Illustration, if you think of an iceberg, the top is what they are telling you as the known. Try to go a level deeper and ask those questions of the unknown, those tougher questions that you know are going to be challenging. And another method, when you're diagnosing a problem, when something has worked before but now is broken, ask what has changed. Ask how it worked previously and what's different, and that will help you get to the bottom of the problem. When we're trying to understand the world around us, one thing that we can do is ask better questions to learn about a topic more quickly. It'll help us steer in the direction that we need to go when we're learning about a new subject, or even advance our current knowledge in that subject. We can always ask questions in the form of an interview. Even if it's a new person or a person that we know, if you format it in an interview, that will put your mindset that you are going to continue asking questions to stay curious rather than sharing what you already know. That will give the other person a chance to share what they know, and you can learn from their experiences. Questions can also frame the way we think about a situation. It can tell us what we know and what we don't know. As soon as we establish a baseline, then we can start to draw from other experiences in other areas to come up with analogies to ask other perspectives so you can relate on your other knowledge. If you don't have any understanding of that subject, try to draw from other perspectives to give you some relevant information to help you build upon that new subject. If you're familiar with the subject, try to use that other knowledge to fill in the gaps and ask questions that help you understand it more completely. That covers what effective questions can do for you. Now let's talk about how we can ask better questions. And I'm going to put this in two parts. One is how we ask ourselves better questions, and the other is how we ask other people better questions. So let's start with how we ask ourselves better questions. We ask ourselves better questions by asking the big questions. These can be anything and everything. Generally, if we keep asking ourselves these questions, we'll come up with better ones and we'll get closer to the answer. So for example, why am I here? What is my purpose? Are some big questions to start with. Other questions can be, what are the big problems in the world? How can I contribute? How can I influence on those problems? You can ask yourself, am I asking the right question, or do I need to ask a different question? Or how about, what good question did I ask today? Now let's talk about how we ask other people better questions. I like to ask other people what they are interested in. This really strikes up a good conversation about their passion. And when you ask that, you can usually ask, what is their favorite hobbies? Because if they're hobbies, they truly enjoy them because they spend their free time and their money. They're doing it because they love it. Once you have asked what their hobbies are, see if you can relate. Or if you can't relate, use that previous tip of how you can draw from other experiences and really go further and follow up on more questions and look for expressions and really pay attention to what lights them up and what they're interested in. And when you start to notice what they're really interested in, that's when you can draw on that experience and really go a little bit deeper If you're not sure what to ask, start by asking about their story and how did that experience make them feel. Is a great way to really get them to express themselves. And this is especially helpful for people that might be introverted, as they may have a hard time opening up to new people. The next tip is really be curious about the other person and what they are interested in. Try to stay away from judgment. When you start to judge a person, that will really close you off, and then they will start to feel that you are no longer interested and begin to shut down or stop talking. So I'll give you an example. If you're the type of person that doesn't like cursing and you talk to somebody that is cursing, stay away from judgment, and they will begin to see that you're truly interested in what they're saying. And if you are not reciprocating the same language, chances are they will meet at your level because they know you're interested. They will show you that respect and change their language to meet you in the middle. The next tip is really strive for empathy. Try to put yourself in their perspective. We all have different experiences, and they are telling you the story in which they experienced. So if you really strive for empathy, you will start to see in a new perspective. The last tip is really try to draw from your knowledge on the subject. Chances are when you're going to meet new people, you are going to meet them for a specific reason. Maybe you're going to an event to learn about a particular subject. When you get there, try to ask questions relative to the problem that they are describing, and then you can draw new questions to help you solve your problem as well. And that will start to begin a connection, and then you can ask those difficult questions with each other. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you for listening. I'm curious to what you have to say of why and how you ask better questions. Leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.